All right, everybody, we're back. It is a warm and very muggy Thursday. We've had some rain this week, and it's really jacked the humidity up and turned everything really humid and muggy down here in the low country, which is normally how it is in the late spring going into summer. I hate the summers here. If I had my way and I had plenty of money, you wouldn't see me in the state of South Carolina during the months of summer. But as it is, I'm not as rich as people you guys on the YouTube that watch think I am, so I have to work, and South Carolina is where I call my home. So we're out here on a familiar job, but we're doing some new stuff out here. So let's take a look at what we got, and we'll get started. All right, so back here is where I was back there with the owner. We've mulched this. I've made 4 or 5 videos of me back here mulching and clearing out the trees with the owner and the big Volvo and all that stuff back there. So this part up here is a separate owner, and he stopped by when we were working up there or down there, and asked me about bush hogging this down for him, and I said yeah, no problem. Gave him a price, and he said go ahead and do it. So it's about all the way up to the fence is about 3 acres, but this is probably like a half-ish acre or so right here that I don't have to cut. It's already cleared. So we probably got 2.5-ish acres here. We got a bush hog down. It just goes back to that tree line and then circles back down to that that power generating station. So nothing too crazy here. I really don't know what's back there in the back. I don't know if there's a ditch along that wood line or what. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go ahead and cut a line straight in here, and then we'll just start working this like this and in rows, and get this mowed down. It's mostly just broom straw and these little volunteer juvenile pines. That's really all it is. You know, a couple other little things, but it's mostly just those little juvie pines and this broom straw stuff. So nothing too thick. I got the Mega Mower here on the 120. Love this Mega Mower, especially, I mean, it's great for doing these bush hogging and brush cutting jobs. This is perfect for the Mega Mower. So we'll get all this chewed up and chewed down and see what it looks like. So let me get started. I'll make a run, and then I'll set the camera up, and or actually I'll go and set it up right here, and we'll start making some runs and get this looking good. I had to guess. Of the blade or the tip of the blade to chew stuff up that goes inside the mower. So I run right along that support right there, and that's my cut edge right there. Well, that is the job. You can see that silt fence goes all the way around, hits that corner, kind of cuts back in at an angle, hits that corner there, and then comes down and circles back around, and that's it. Where that silt fence is basically the property line. It kind of cuts through there a little bit too. So but somebody had been before they put this fence up out here with this gate, people had been pulling in here, and somebody had been using this as a dumping ground for a bunch of landscape debris. Thank God it wasn't trash and it was just landscape debris. It'd been here a while. I just chewed it up with the Mega Mower. But yeah, this went well. Most of this was pretty small, but that back corner back there was growed up with the gum trees really, really bad. They were big and they were tall, and it'd have been nice to have the mulcher just for that one little patch back there. But the old Mega Mower, it wasn't anything the Mega Mower couldn't handle. It was just so thick in there. It was just a lot of gum trees, about probably like everywhere, anything from like a ½ an inch up to about 4 or 5 inches, and they were all just packed in there super, super tight. And mulcher been nice for that, but it's nothing the Mega Mower couldn't handle. But yeah, chewed it up, chewed it down. I love this Mega Mower, man. I mean, it's just really awesome. It's just everything, the way it's constructed. It's really heavy duty, but it's still really light. It balances the weight of it balances very well on this 120. It's just super heavy duty. I love the way these corners are constructed right here. The way that's got these serrated edges for cutting branches and stuff, and those will cut a branch. I've used them before. They will cut a branch right off a tree. Everything about this thing is just awesome when it comes to just doing these bush hogging and mowing jobs like this, because you don't want to bring something like this where the brush cutter can handle it. You never know what you're going to find or hit in here. Like we got that tire. There was some asphalt and some rock and stuff up there too. Like, it's just not worth bringing the mulcher in here, because you just hit stuff you don't want to hit and you tear up the teeth, and it's just basically a bush hogging job. So this thing, it's got those 4 blades on it. You can hit stuff. They just don't care. I mean, they do need to be sharpened, but I mean, these blades just don't care. And then if you do ruin one, they're not super expensive to replace. It's not a huge cost. Whereas if you mess up 5 or 6 mulcher teeth on a mulcher head, it's like, it's just and then it's a pain, because you got to replace 5, 6, 8 of them or whatever, and it's too much overhead for a bush hogging job. So this worked out really good. So I'll let the owner know this is done, and that's the job. So gonna take this back to the shop. I got to get it cleaned up. She's a mess before we put it on the trailer, and I got to load up Little Munch, because we got a job with Little Munch tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and I will check you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.